Gareth David Lloyd, Yanta from Torchwood. You're watching Dr. Freedom.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Omega Files. I'm your host, Dr. Freedom, and tonight we've gathered to sit down, have a little talk about the latest episode for Doctor Who Series 9, The Girl Who Died. Sounds ominous, don't it? But it's actually a quite refreshing story. Okay, let's get hello there from everybody. Let's start with Texas Tim.
Hello there.
Graham.
Good evening, and I speak baby.
Okay, Matt.
Hello.
All right, Elijah.
Hello.
AJ.
Hi there, and remember, some Vikings don't like the sight of blood.
William.
Hey, now, how you doing, everybody? He does look like a baby.
Phillip.
Hello, and I still haven't found my voice.
All right, Ryan.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
And Callan.
Hi there, everyone.
Okay, so rather interesting spin on things tonight. We have Vikings who, well, are leftovers, and the doctor kind of like has to snap them together into this, kind of like rather rushed boot camp. Comes up with a very intriguing solution to the situation, but I want to get your guys' opening thoughts on this. So let's start with, let's start with Ryan. Opening thoughts on The Girl Who Died.
It was kind of a alright story. I didn't see much impressive with it, but at the same time, I didn't hate it. I'm kind of, right now I'm just kind of balanced on the story, but my opinions of it could go either way at this point upon a second viewing.
Okay, AJ.
I didn't mind the story, actually. I thought it was quite original. I also liked the part where the Vikings were taking away all the warriors and whatnot and made into elixir of juice. So,
Alrighty. Elixir, magic warrior juice. Okay, Texas Tim.
I liked it very much. I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty quick moving. It was pretty funny when it needed to be. I think the title might have given away the ending, but I guess you kind of knew that going into it anyway. I really like, though, the through line of the episode is that the doctor and Clara are having a conversation about what he can do or can't do and what he should do or shouldn't do. And so that's the main focus of the episode at the end of the day. I liked it very much, though. I thought it was impressive.
All right, Matt Rose.
Well, hello. Very much enjoyed this one. Yes, it's just like a fun romp. It just goes up and down. It's very dark. There's quite a few funny moments that I really loved. Capaldi using the yo-yo again, and pretending to be a god, and then he's like, "Oh no, if I was a real god, you." Oh no! So when he was talking about gods and how if they were real and everything, it's just so funny and everything. I just enjoyed it. And eels, how they got that far up, because they normally live in like Norway, wherever that Viking village was. It was so funny and very dark when it wanted to be. Very much enjoyed it.
Okay, Graham.
I'm like the rest of the guys, very enjoyable. I agree with Tim, all right, that the title did give away the ending, but that was neither here nor there. And finally, after all the whining, bitching and complaining, we have an answer to the face. So, move on, people. Definitely worth a second watching, but, I can't complain. Good story.
Okay, William.
Yeah, I like this story. It's a good story. This is three for three for Richard Matheson, who's a great writer. Even though the title gave it away, the ending like that, by just seeing this episode by itself, it's just a one episode. Even though at the end it says to be continued, it means to be continued about her character coming back, the next story. But by itself, it's a great story. I gotta give props to Richard Mansfield for this.
Okay, next up, Elijah.
This episode, it kind of reminds me of, this would be something that I would probably do in a game of Dungeons and Dragons to defeat the Mire. Not the way I expected it to turn out, how they took the eels and then electrocuted them, which I thought was cool. And then the fact of the doctor was going to blackmail him with the video footage. And then in the background, you hear the yakety sax music in the background, which was hilarious. Great answer to the question of why he got that face and where he got it from. I thought that was very cool. And I feel like this is going to somehow play into a story arc with Maisie. She wasn't supposed to live, and she made her a hybrid. But if you remember, Davros was talking about hybrids at the beginning of the series, so I don't know, it could be just nothing, or it could be something. But overall, really enjoyed it.
Okay, next up, Philip.
I like this story at the beginning because there's nice action going through to it, and then it's all that slump in the middle, and then it picked up again. So it was a good story. I like the idea of the face, and I think that the consequences of the face will play out toward the end of the season. So yeah, it's a good story, but there are some down bits to it for me.
Okay, and Callan. You better unmute yourself, Callan.
Yes, I quite like the story. It should have been written a bit stronger in parts. It was good to see them on the yo-yo. Nice. The use of electric eels, pretty cool. Yeah. And instead of sonic screwdriver or sonic sunglasses, the use of intelligence and working things out. Just to put in, I've got a bombshell which I'll fire in at the end of the podcast, because otherwise everyone will running off to check things out. So I'm time stamping it now, in case someone's got the same idea.
Oh, you tease.
Okay, I'm going to open the floor up. I'm going to toss out the first idea. Okay, how many of us older folks out there, when you saw Odin's head peer out of the clouds, think, oh my gosh, it's Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Oh my god! Unfortunately I thought Son of the Mask.
No,
I was thinking of Teletubbies and the baby.
Oh, don't you dare!
You're not the only one.
The Teletubbies, really?
Everyone I know has been posting that reminding them of Teletubbies.
Unless the baby.
Stop option.
Just a quick observation on Odin. So Odin basically juiced up the noblest warriors within the village just so he could get a hit. So essentially Odin is the Valhalla version of the 456.
Basically, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But remember, the whole Viking team was just a disguise. He was like a hideous space fish.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah, magic warrior juice.
That's what we did.
I like the bit with the at the end, actually, where they show the Maisie character standing there, and at first she's happy, because she's been saved. But then as the camera pans around and comes around the second time, it's like time lapse. She's not so happy at being immortal anymore because years have gone by. Apparently, she's still the same.
Centuries.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Elijah's right, that it's not just next week. I mean, I'm guessing this could be an ongoing plot thing for the series, but we don't know. I mean, do we know that if she's in any other episodes or she's in the two?
Go on, Elijah. Tell him, Elijah.
He's rumored, because of some Instagram photo that Jenna Cohen put up, apparently she's in the last episode, 12, I think.
Yeah.
So, but that's...
She looks like a beaten character to me, but we will see.
So that means that, like Phillip said about, like Davos was sort of about like the hybrid that he wants.
But that was a Dalek Time Lord hybrid. That's not to do with our character.
Oh, but then maybe more.
Still, but think about it, though. this could, he saved someone that he wasn't
Not meant to. Exactly. Yeah.
No, but I'm sorry. I agree with him. To hell with what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, but like he said throughout the story too, ripples. I mean, sometimes they can turn out to be tidal waves. Like that's the whole question of the episode. Is it okay for him to do things like this? Because at first he just wanted to walk away when he found out that they were going to be. He's like he explains to Clara, "What if I save them?" And that just puts on a signal that, hey, look, Earth is so technologically advanced. Let's just hack there, you know. So it's like
the way he said hybrid, it's like, you know, he's thinking about something.
Maybe she's part Time Lord now.
I don't know about that.
No, that little equipment that he put on her head, you know, that has to be Gallifreyan. So
That's what I was thinking too.
No, he got it from the beefy, right? He got it from
Nah, doesn't it have to be Gallifreyan?
Oh, I never realised that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the fact still stands. He saved someone he shouldn't have. He interfered with time.
He done it before, man. Like Charlie Pollard.
Hang on. This guy always interferes with body time.
That's what he does. It's his
Yes, but the consequence of her being immortal could get him into trouble by the Time Lords also.
Really?
Yeah.
What Time Lords? Where they at?
That's kind of been a running thing throughout.
Anyway, they are a running gag, man. They can't do nothing no more.
I'm just like, oh, come on. We all know where this is leading towards the season finale. So
Really? And if that doesn't happen, you'll whine, bitch, and complain like you can make some Gallifrey face.
But like, you know, changing time, that's kind of been like a running theme of this season. He showed Davros compassion, which, you know, that could have led to, you know, that point. And then, you know, he says that the whole debate in the previous two-parter about, you know, he can't change time and all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, prime example, you were saying the other week, Ryan, I always hate it when he says I can't change time. Now he's changing time and people still find a reason to pitch. You know?
He always changes time, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Anywhere he changes events. I mean,
remember the Big Finish story, Creatures of Beauty? Who started all that?
Yeah.
Remember?
It's hard, this one.
It was but who was in the who controlled the TARDIS? The Doctor did.
I remember the Time Lord Victorious. That got him into trouble slightly, didn't it?
Yeah, that reminded me of that as well. When he started saying that, like, what does he say, Graham? To hell with them or whatever if they don't.
Yeah.
That was exactly like very late Tenet with consequences be damned, and I think that is the theme of the series that we're gonna get. That he's gonna have to pay for that what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
His best intentions always come back on you.
Yeah. But just to your point there, Graham, I did say that I would be fine if the Doctor says he shouldn't change time, because it's not the fact that he can't. He obviously can. He's done it before plenty of times. It's just that he shouldn't, and that's what he says in this episode. So,
there you go. You've been vindicated on your point, then.
Well, he gave a good reason why he shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's been addressed a couple of times. Now, these are just two examples that pop up off the top of my head. Everyone remember Father's Day when he's there's a person. All right, I'm paraphrasing here for the situation. There's a person out there who's alive in the world who shouldn't be. But then they also kind of addressed it, and I'm going to paraphrase the line a little bit in Voyage of the Damned. When the one smart-ass guy with the cell phone walks away alive, everyone else is dead, and the one fellow looks over him and goes, but if we were the ones who decides who lives and who dies, what would that make us?
Make us monsters, he said after that.
Yeah. That's what it was. Thank you. I couldn't remember the last bit, but exactly. What does this make the Doctor if he's going to start deciding, okay, this person deserves to live, I'm going to give them, this gift? Well, but actually he refers to it as a curse, because I love the way he referred to it at the end of the episode where he says, immortality is not about living forever, it's about watching everyone else die.
Yeah. That's I think by the time he gets back to TARDIS, he regrets his decision, because he even says, like, probably shouldn't have done that, which is why I think he gave her the other one, just in case she wanted to have like an immortal mate. But still, it's like he knows he messed up.
The one thing I like in the episode, they reintroduce his diary, the 2,000-year diary.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
That was good to see that again.
It
Well,
was
Captain
like
Jack has a friend.
Yeah, yeah.
They should have had him flipping through it. Trends of the Lord, trends of the Lord, trends of the Lord.
I should go there.
100 years.
No, it's kind of reminded me of that time. It was in Keeper of Trocket when they're flipping through the diary, and Adric goes, "Your diaries are very confusing." He goes, "Well, what?" He goes, "Well, right here it says something happened. Then I flip a couple pages, it says it didn't happen at all. Then I flip a couple more pages, it did happen, but a very long time ago."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not chronological. It's just chronological to his timeline.
Exactly. But I'm glad they made use of a book now instead of like a data bank or something. I thought that was very, very nice touch. Plus, once again, he's cut off from the TARDIS. He doesn't have access to the Sonic, so he has to improvise. And I love it when they do stuff like that.
MacGyver in space.
Yep.
The only question that I could ask is what happened to the Clara's spacesuit because she wasn't
They
wearing
tore it up.
Yeah. They needed the metal for the
filling.
Yeah.
Should have kept the rags of it and took it with her, but not to show that it was there.
That's okay. It'll give something for the conspiracy archaeologists to argue over.
Yeah,
or better yet, it'll be another excuse for what you call it, what's his name, Sukalos from Ancient Aliens to go, aliens.
And that means Benny has to go back and take care of that.
Uh-oh. By the goddess, yeah.
The one thing I really like is when they first get taken to the village, where he's trying to persuade everyone he's Odin. It seemed very Tom Bakerish the way he was speaking almost. Like, you know, it was pronouncing himself, I am here.
I wasn't too keen on the I speak baby thing because it's like, oh, come on, do we have to do that again?
Well, he done it before.
It was kind of clever, but remember, the baby had stopped like crying or talking.
Phillip, that was sorry, Elijah. That was a plot device. That's how we got the idea about the eels.
Yeah, and then remember, Clara said the baby stopped talking. You're still talking. That means you're gonna stay here. You just admitted it. So.
Okay, fair enough. I've only watched it once. I'll go watch it again anyway. So yeah.
It's kind of scary though, because in a way, though, those last few lines, he's kind of admitting to Clara, look, it's like when he says to the effect that, you know, to have someone, you know, you don't want to lose.
Yeah. We already know that's coming at some point in some way or shape or form. So yeah, that's what he's implying.
What will be interesting when the time comes though is his reaction.
Yeah, what's going to be like? He even said what it's going to be. It's the same as it always is. He's going to run off. And
No, that's the end result. But before that, there'll be some type of reaction. You know.
I did love the fact that they alluded to that you know, sooner or later, you know, I have to run away from the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go back, get into my box, and run away from the pain. I love that line. I love that whole section there. That was just beautifully done.
Yeah.
And we got a Doctor and Clara hug this week.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I dare say they'll be on their forums with their flaming fingers of fury bitching about that, but it doesn't bother.
I thought it was funny though. Like he's just like, nah, don't hug. You know that.
Yeah, but the one thing is, I think he knows that she's going to probably die soon. That's probably why he's getting a little bit clingy to her now.
Well, I mean, you could say that because they did. We still don't get why in the first episode of the magician, you know, the Magician's Apprentice, he seems so shocked to see her alive or something. But I don't know if that just had something to do with that episode. But he kind of. I mean, I don't know if there's some kind of ongoing arc about that. I mean, I think that their banter between themselves, though, was much better this week than it was in the last two. I thought that she was coming off as very different than she had been with the whole, I don't want to see stuff explode and blah, 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 that kind of thing, which is, wouldn't really like her.
It depends on the environment, but just to pick AJ up on his point now, I mean, all right, he probably knows that when she's, you know, going to, you know, bite the dust. Well, if you want to be technical, he knows when the one after her is going to bite the dust as well. So, you know.
Yeah.
How's that?
Because the Time Lords. You know.
He doesn't always know, though. He doesn't always know because
he's seen the Earth when the Earth dies. He's seen it.
Just throwing it out there. What if the Doctor, like now, is actually a like future version? He's like been away. It kind of like a Matt Smith thing in Series 6 when he's been away for God knows how long. Is a lot older. At the start of Series 6. What if he's like a lot older now, but he's already seen Clara die? That's why he looks so shocked when he sees her in Magician's Apprentice.
Well, I'll tell you, that'll not bother me, but I know a few people that'll be running to YouTube to make a video to Wine Bits and complain you're only copying season 6. So.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Gallifrey-based filter.
Exactly.
No!
Like I said, unless what Lady Neil originally thinks is true.
Everybody is no a Zygon, Will.
No.
No, but I was thinking also earlier that what if we were seeing the stories out of order or something, and it only makes sense when you see a particular episode. But that
That's what it said. Did William make call that earlier on in an earlier podcast? He said that, or was it maybe it was Tim who said it? Well, we're seeing this. We're not seeing this in chronological order.
Backwards.
Yeah, maybe in that.
You never know, but you'd be right. That is something they tried in Series 6, and it was only partially successful according to most people. I don't care what other people say, though, so I liked it. But you know what I mean? So I think we don't know, though. We won't know until later in the series. We're like 5 episodes in, and this is cool, too, because it's not even really a two-parter, is it? It's two stories. The only thing that's carried over is the character.
The character goes to the next story, even though she's a prison. It would not be written by Richard by Matheson. Jamie. Sorry, I'm thinking hard.
I like the idea that the Doctor chooses his faces through situations. For example, he chose the Castilians because it reminded him of saving people, and yet when he chose Maxwell's face, it's because he wants to be seen as authoritative. So he chooses his bodies because it helps him be someone.
Does he choose that face because the 6th Doctor was violent and the only memory he has of him is getting shot?
No, he chose the sixth Doctor's face because that Time Lord showed authority. When he was Doctor number 5, he had no authority in himself.
That's kind of fan wanky, though. That was never explained in the show, though.
Yeah, but I don't think...
No, but he's taking that based on the clip we got tonight. He's making his own theory up there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I mean...
Yeah.
I'd never really thought they had to explain it. You're going to use the same actors again and again for different parts. I mean, and that's cool that they came up with something decent to say, oh, well, that's, it gave him the impetus to be the kind of guy that saves people, even though he never remembered it. I mean, it's been a whole series and a half before he finally clicks and says, hey, that's why I look like that guy. So that's cool.
But for me, I think he doesn't mentally choose the face. It's either something that's just in the back of the mind. Think of the millions of faces he's seen in his entire lifespan.
Yeah.
I mean, he would pick certain.
That's why Tom Baker says you're gonna go back to some familiar old faces.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You have the War Games when they were giving him the option to choose a space. Then, so like, not that one, not that one. Yeah.
And you could make the same argument for Romana choosing a new body /
Yeah.
But it's been stated that the female Time Lords could do that. They could choose how they would look.
Yeah, but
it's stated in the show. It's been stated on the internet, but it hasn't been stated in the show.
But also, there's been like 2 or 3 different reasons they've given now in Big Finish alone why Romana regenerated in the first.
It's just inferred that they have more control over it.
Yeah.
But they have babies too, so there you go.
It's that whole scene in the War Games when it's like, you get to choose. We'll let you choose, but then he kind of subliminally chooses, I guess.
Yeah, but he did say to the Time Lord, people, what's the word he said, about his appearance. He said people take a lot of stock in their appearance, so they gave him a glamorous look. In the
he doesn't choose, actually. They give it to him.
Yeah, because he said that. He said, I want to look like something a bit more grandiose than what I am at the moment.
It's why I have problem with the line in Deep Breath when Vastra's all like, when it basically tries to explain why the Doctor looks old. Like, why do you need to justify why he looks old? It's like, it's just trying to get the people who are against it on your side.
No, she was explaining to Clara, who was freaked out about it.
Yeah. And in the process, reassuring the audience. You might not agree with the dialogue, but there was a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Veil, Madame Vastra's veil. It was kind of like he was saying, okay, people don't accept me the way I am. Some people don't expect the way the Doctor is.
You mean you're a lesbian wizard? Really?
Interspecial act, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
bestiality.
Yeah, they tongue here.
at the end of the day, it just shows that the Doctor is able to consciously decide what he looks like.
Well,
But
maybe
not-
subconsciously is what I'm thinking.
Subconsciously, yes, because he doesn't think about it at the time. It just happens, and then possibly he'll remember like he just did. But I mean, usually it's just hit and miss with him because he's always in some kind of dire strait when it happens.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's not like Romana just, changing outfits 2 or 3 times. It just happens to be bodies. You know what I mean? Like she's just like casual with it. And he's just over there. I mean, it's always some thing where he dies actually. So.
can I just change the subject? Can I just throw it out? What did we think of the Maya? I mean, were we happy with the eel resolution, or were they half decent? What do you reckon?
Well, it's funny for a race of who had a reputation of being very warlike. You see them. You see them.
Oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah, you see them retreat real fast.
That's actually not a bad effect.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the fish people from the Venice story.
When they were
No,
vampires.
Kind of, yeah.
No, it reminds me more
I
of
was shocked.
the alien mouth from Aliens.
Mm-hmm. I was shocked when I saw that because I didn't expect that. I thought it was just going to be the robot types, and then you see that, and it's like, oh man, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
They kind of reminded me of the Vigil from Rings of Akatan. They just show up, and then just like as quickly as they showed up, they're gone again.
Yeah, they weren't very well utilised.
Or I guess more recently, Skovok's Blitzer.
Well, I think they were because they were basically soldiers for that guy, and that was part of the joke that they got scared of the vision that was shared with him and ran off and left him there.
Yeah, it's just I guess another case of the description given to the villain doesn't match the villain, like the Skovok's Blitzer.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree with that.
Oh, I'm going to throw a race name at you. They reminded me of. Everybody ready for this one? The Metatraxi.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be also the most fiercest known mercenaries in the universe, but the Doctor messed around with their translation unit, so they kept sounding like surfers, cartoon characters, and all that. So their reputation was destroyed, and they ended up losing all their business.
Yeah.
Little Big Finish reference there for you. Anyone who's seen the Lost Story or listened to the Lost Stories, the Metatraxi. Okay. Well, all right. Now here comes my favorite part. Was there anything anyone didn't like about the episode?
I wish they would have showed the Viking who was trying to train himself actually wound himself. You see him sitting down like, don't you?
Was that Chuckles? When they gave them on names, I can't remember if that was Chuckles. Yeah.
No, I know it wasn't Heidi. It had to be Chuckles.
Yeah.
Lofty, Heidi.
Yeah, Lofty, Limpy, Haston, Heidi.
ZZ Tops.
I think it was Lofty.
All right, go ahead, Graham.
No, if I had one maybe a wee bit more Odin. Other than that, I can't really complain. I mean, I know it served its purpose. Half of the episode was spent trying to get these folks prepared for the war the following day, but maybe a wee bit more Odin.
I do dislike.
Right for it, Philip.
No, I can't. I do dislike when they show you and the ending of an adventure that goes into a new one. Because I want to know what happened, why Clara ended up in space, and you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the beginning of the story, how they got to that point.
But it's very clear, though. They have several adventures in between these.
Yeah, that's what you call big. Exactly, that's what you call big finish gaps.
And in the introduction video to the story, Capaldi and Clara said, Capaldi and Jenna said they're off having an adventure and something interrupts that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I wish they wouldn't show that.
Why?
Because it just makes you think, I wouldn't mind seeing what kind of.
To be fair, they were setting up the whole discussion they had later because they diverted something from happening, is what it was, right? That's what they said, some kind of war or something. They stopped it.
Yeah.
They stopped it before it happened. And that's what leads to their discussion inside the TARDIS when she's asking, is it okay to do that or is it not okay to do that? He's pretty much like saying you have to pick your battles. But, I mean, that's why then they have this adventure. And it reflects on that. That's why they had that in there.
Okay.
Now, remember when he says you got little ripples, and then Clara said, "Well, you causes hurricanes, and of course the dollar keep calling him the oncoming storm." So that he has a reputation already.
But also, what intrigued the living hell out of me was the doctor sees her in the village, and he's automatically fixated on Maisie Williams' character Shielder. Like I know this person from somewhere.
Oh, that's true.
Well, that speaks to the May seeing things in sort of.
The funny thing is, even though the older guy that plays her father, and she called him father, they never mentioned that she was either born there, and she feel like she's cursed like that, like or they ever mentioned about her mom there. They never mentioned nothing like that in that episode.
I think why the doctor was fixed on her because he unconsciously knew that she was going to become a fixed point in time like Captain Jack was.
Or, as he said, he's remembering her in a forward direction.
Yeah.
In reverse.
No, forward.
Yeah. Either way, says that. I mean, time like that. They don't. You wouldn't necessarily call it a memory, would you, if it hadn't happened yet, kind of thing. So that's the way they see things.
I mean, I got really worried when he said hybrid. I thought they were going to reveal her as Jenny.
No,
I'm like,
why?
Because Jenny was pretty much a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they would have mentioned
the
about
way he said hybrid was kind of suggestive.
Yeah, but if that would have been the case, they would have mentioned that maybe a spacecraft landed there or something like that.
No, Jenny wasn't a hybrid. Jenny was a Gallifreyan clone. She had two hearts. She had Gallifreyan physiology. She was actually spawned from a cell from the doctor's body.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Mother and father.
So that's something they're going to have to touch on later, I guess, But I don't know. I'll be happy if Jenny never shows back up, to be honest with you. It was a good story when it lasted. And, you also got to sit there and think, Big Finish could pick that up later, maybe.
Possibly.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
I can't think of something. There was a question, but I forgot. I can't think about it right now.
Wait. Hang on. What about Callan's big reveal? Come on, you've taken on.
That's right. Yeah, you've had me in frickin' suspense here. What is it?
We've got to the end of the podcast because when I do this,
apart from ratings,
you can't on the fools under the sun. Okay,
go for it.
All right, go ahead and go for it because we're going to go into another subject after we rate it. So.
Oh well, here we go. All right. I caught ourselves in the trailer for the next episode.
I haven't had a chance to take a look, get good detail.
No, never. Just throw it out there.
Who is he, your sidekick? I think it's Mark Bailey.
There you go.
It sounds like Mark Bailey and he looks a bit like Mark Bailey. I'm probably wrong, but there you go.
Well, yes.
Just remember.
Fire at nuclear weapons.
Calm, if you
weapons over fired, clean up my anus.
Remember, big man, remember, always well if you paid the £27.50, okay?
Yeah.
Keep it on the square.
Yeah.
When it went up and down, I thought it was $26.50.
Wow.
So I've got a wrong colour gloves on, but not mine.
That depends on inflation. Yeah.
Beware. Oh, okay. All right. So, anything else, guys?
No, I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
Same here.
Bring on the highwayman. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's rate the sucker, and then there's something I want to go into a little bit. Okay, let's start with Callan here. Out of 10, how do you rate The Girl Who Died?
I'll give it 7 out of 10. I'll have to watch it again, though.
Okay. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Callan. 7 out of 10. That I don't think it would go up upon a rewatch, but it could possibly get knocked down to a 6 if I were to rewatch it. But I just want to mention one thing. I did like that Williams' character didn't die in like battle or anything. It was just, worn out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, I'll get to our latecomer here in a second. Phillip, out of 10, how do you rate this one?
I rate it a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you very much.
Okay, William?
I give it an 8 out of 10. It was real funny. It had some funny moments.
All right, AJ?
I'll give it him again.
All right, 8 out of 10. All right, Matt Rose?
I'll need to rewatch this one as well. I'll give it number 8 out of 10 as well.
All right, Graham?
I'll complete the hat trick on one viewing only. I'll give it an 8.
All right, Elijah?
This was my 3rd time watching it, and I would have to give it an 8.5.
Wow, okay. Texas Tim?
Well, I'm going to give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. I've watched it one time, and I didn't find any fault with it at all. I thought it was an enjoyable hour. So I might change my mind after I've seen it again, but to me, it was a 9. So.
Same here. I'm going to give this one a 9. It was very, very enjoyable. I really enjoyed watching it. I think it had a nice flow, brought up a lot of good moral points, also gave us a little insight into the doctor's thinking regarding this kind of thing. And I said I'm going to settle with a 9 on this one, definitely. Okay, Kevin, you're joining us a bit late. Go ahead and give us your opening thoughts and what you think about this episode.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have to rewatch this episode because I was at a friend's house, and yeah, it was difficult understanding because sometimes they were talking, but there were some points in it like Paulie's face, the hybrids. That last part with the time lapse was really awesome. So, thank you, Elijah, for that message. It was cool. It was one of the. It was interesting. The Viking setting. It was more of a comedy episode because Paul was really funny in it. But I can't wait for next week. What's going to happen to that girl? Because she didn't really look nice at the end, really like angry or something. Because she's now immortal. Yeah, that's cool to see. So yeah, I'm not going to rate this. So, but if I should rate it, I will rate it maybe a 9. If I should.
Okay, that's a good one. All righty. Now, here's something interesting that popped up in Doctor Who magazine this week. And I want to throw this one out to the crowd, see what they make of this. Okay, unfortunately, this was the site I found the quote on. But okay. Okay, speaking in the issue of Doctor Who magazine, Stephen Moffat had this to say. We know the Doctor has done unmentioned and unmentionable things during the Time War. Even now, the biggest crime has been reversed. John Hurt seemed very young in Night of the Doctor, but very old by Day of the Doctor. What happened during those years? He clearly did a lot of bad things during the Time War. He was the most terrifying warrior, and that's the thing we play with this year. What did he get up to in the years we didn't see him? Now, having spent a lot of time writing the show, I think the character of the Doctor is actually quite well delineated. I get him. I get that he's aspiring to be a thing called the Doctor, but he isn't really. I get he's at some level an exceptional but nevertheless quite ordinary person trying to live up to an impossible ideal. I think that's all there. And so you have to wonder what fired him off Gallifrey in the first place. Now, I don't know. You think they should really touch on that, really, about why he left Gallifrey?
Well,
or should we make that a mystery?
You mean the very first time he left Gallifrey?
Yeah. Why did he pack up his granddaughter and head for the hills? You think they should touch on that, really, or just leave that the mystery?
I mean, they can, but he always said it's because he was bored. He got really bored. He said, I don't want to be this, this
Yeah.
Time Lord Society thingy. I just want to go have some fun, and that's
Yeah.
what he always says. There's no really mystery there.
Like,
But you know what? Just being bored doesn't cut it. He must have done something really bad for him to flee Gallifrey.
Or something bad happened to him.
It's kind of like he was bored. All they do is sit there, watch time go by. He was bored. He wanted to go and travel, so he stole a TARDIS and ran.
Like
Yeah, but you need a bit more meat on the bone for that kind of action.
Yeah, you know, that's a little bit of a question there, because if he was bored and wanted to leave, that's one thing. But when he left, he took his granddaughter with him.
Yeah.
That leaves a little bit of a question, like, well, what happened to her parents and his wife? Like,
But he even says in that same article that there's nobody as bad as the War Doctor. Nobody is that does the things he does. So I mean, and that's pretty much left up to Big Finish now. They're not going to go back to that on the series. So I mean, I think this is just one of those things where you just throw stuff out there for people to talk about, like he always does. So.
well, he's also promoting the Big Finishes. That first one comes out in December.
Yeah, well, in an indirect, backhanded way, he is. I mean, he's because he talks a lot about the War Doctor in that paragraph. But you know, they're not going to go there on TV. And like we said, it's we all know why the Doctor left. He's not.
But hang on. Missy did say in which is familiar, that I didn't run, you ran, which is saying that they're going to touch upon why he ran from Gallifrey, and even Davos mentions it as well.
Because it has been hinted throughout the history of the show that the whole board storyline might have been a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if it was,
I think it could be in what his confession is.
Okay, Callan, you want to say something? Go ahead.
So Kevin, on me.
You.
No. Like, I'm saying, when he left, he's gone out there. Obviously, he had to return at some stage. I think he returned because Rasslin probably called him back because he got told to take, because when he left his gone, obviously he didn't see the hand of Omega following them and or preceding them into the TARDIS. So obviously he must have been called back. I think it was my theory is it's by Rasslin who told him to go and bury the hand of Omega. Anyway, that happened.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but when he left, when we saw the name of the Doctor, when he ran off in the TARDIS, remember he took another TARDIS and took off right there. He had the hand of Omega with him.
Isn't the first time he goes back is when he called them for help at the end of the War Games?
Yeah.
No. It looks like it must have been the first Doctor who got told about bury the hand of Omega, because that was
and
that's what he failed to do in 1963. He was going to do it, but he didn't get around to it. He left accidentally.
In that McCoy story, when they had the hand of Omega, they mentioned the blind guy mentions he was old before his voice was old.
Yeah, he was looking for the right. He was looking for the right vicar to bury him. He needed a vicar who was blind, not the fine one. But then they got the two school teachers interrupted the whole thing, and they had to take off.
With regards to that, I'm not really that bothered, because whatever they tell you or whatever they reveal, it'll never be the full story. So let them go for it.
Yeah, you have to keep things a mystery. I'm not going to find the Doctor's name.
But you know what? Why do we have to have a mystery about the Doctor? Because we know much already.
Well, Phillip, it was made up as they went along.
Yeah.
It was never planned.
Yeah, I remember last year somebody was saying that Doctor's name was Fred. He had 4 kids, and his parents is Rassilon and his hooker, right?
There's a reason why the show is called Doctor Who. It's not a Davy's name.
Yeah,
it's
but
mystery.
I know, but these days it doesn't. The word Doctor Who had no real meaning.
Well, at least they got rid of the question mark closed.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons that the American show probably would have failed, because it was going to go into like a lot of his background, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So glad that didn't happen.
Okay, so I kind of agree with you. I think they should leave it a mystery. You know, maybe touch on some oblong reason, you know, that, but you'll never really find out the whole story. Because it's just, you know, if you really go into that, yeah, like I think I said before, if you find out his real name was like Bob and you know, he just happened to actually make something up, so he decided to run for it. You know, it'll just come out kind of dull compared to what you've built up your imagination over the last 50-something years. So. I think, yeah, me personally, I think they should just kind of leave it alone, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so we've rated it. We've talked about the episode. We've gone a little philosophical debate over something they've talked about a little bit about in Doctor Magazine. I think we're just go ahead and bring this sucker to a close. So, okay, let's get goodbye there's from everybody. Let's start with Kevin, since you came in last.
Well, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Peace.
Okay, Matt Rose.
Goodbye, and see you next week. Goodbye.
All right. Great. You're next, Graham.
Next week, folks, no everybody lives. Apparently a woman does. I'll be there.
Okay. Texas Tim?
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me. Great discussion.
All right. Elijah?
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
All right. AJ?
See you guys next week, and don't forget, if you're being chased, run like a nose.
William?
Oh, thank you for having me here. Hope to be here next week, and it's time for the baby to get his Pampers changed.
Ooh.
Phillip?
Good night. And next week is Hunt for Phillip's voice.
That'll be an episode in search of.
Callan?
Thanks for having me again, gentlemen. I'm sorry, it's the first time I've been back since a new season. I feel like I haven't paid my £27.50.
And Ryan?
Thank you for having me. It's been interesting, as always. I'm looking forward to next week's episode where we get cat people again, and they breathe fire.
Okay, folks. Well, until next week, we're going to find out, did the ripples turn into tidal waves? And we'll all take a look at The Woman Who Lived. So, night, folks.
It is.